Jason Zaleski here. Today's Zaleski Sports Show, visiting with Daulton Varsho. Daulton, thanks for joining. First, let's just kind of talk about last year as a season in review. 151 games played. You play in that many games, you're going to learn a lot. Still early in your Major League Baseball career. Looking back on the season over that many games, what would you say you really learned as a professional baseball player this past season?
I really learned think the big thing for me was the skill of having durability, because when you're able to play in that many games and to be available for your manager, and it helps them only to be able to have yourself, especially in the consistent lineup, because when you're not in the lineup every day, usually it's hard to stay in rhythm and with timing of everything with the swing. And just having the ability to gain more at bats and gain more experience every day. And so it was pretty cool to kind of play that many games and my belt of kind of getting towards that 150 mark. And obviously, we're always shooting to play every single game, but to be able to be available in that many games was pretty cool. Obviously, with all those games, you obviously learn so much with at the plate. You learn what works and what doesn't, and obviously ways to survive through the day. And just a lot of those things kind of all correlate together with being able to just be on the field.
Let's talk defensively. When the season started, there were some question marks about where you might play, and you were available to play anywhere, and you did early on. And as the season went on, it seems like you kind of settled in on a certain spot. Just tell us about that. What point in the season did you feel comfortable? Did you kind of feel settled in on the team defensively?
Yeah, so obviously with the injury right away to Carson Kelly, that kind of pushed everything kind of around, because I started in center. And that was kind of like where I was at mainly. And then when Carson got hurt, it was like, Daulton, we need you to catch, which was kind of the talk early on in spring. And so when that happened, it was like, okay, I got it. Like I wasn't that far removed from being with the pitchers and catchers during spring training. And so that was kind of an easier adjustment. And then when Carson came back, I got moved to the outfield, and then Alec Thomas came up, and we had a tough conversation in the office of like, hey, we're gonna have Alec play center, and we're gonna move you to. That was it kind of worked out really well, because I got to know Alec a little bit and how he plays center field, and our way of playing center field kind of meshed together, of where the center fielder goes after everything and the corners kind of have to take peeks and see where the center fielder's at. So it was awesome to kind of have a little kind of lingo with him and learn a little bit with him out there. And getting comfortable and right was definitely an adjustment, but it was a challenge which I accepted, and I thought I did pretty well with that. So then towards the end of the season, we had some conversations about me moving back to catcher, and I said I would like to play outfield for the rest of the year, and they were pretty good with that. So I was pretty happy with staying in the outfield. I think that's a better position for me defensively, and I've
From the plate, batted 235, 27 home runs, 74 runs batted in. Major League Baseball players' swing never is always changing, right? You're always looking for that improvement. Tell us about your swing throughout the season and how you felt from the plate.
Yeah, so first half was kind of I did it right, and then I kind of hit a rough patch, and had some obviously just lingering issues with injuries of trying to figure out how to get through the day, and it did affect me at the plate. But I actually talked to my sister Andy, and she was I asked her, I'm like, hey, like I'm just struggling a little bit with like figuring out with like timing. And she's like, all right, just get your foot down early, and see how that feels. And then I got my foot down early after half, and it seemed to like everything kind of correlated with my swing to kind of survive throughout this year. So that was kind of like the adjustment of, sometimes it's not going to always line up and be perfect of what you're trying to get to, but the ways that you can survive and still be able to feel your hands, feel your swing of what you're trying to do. And she helped me out a lot in that, of just kind of giving me something that I could just be athletic with and get my foot down early. And just knowing that I always have that in my back pocket this next year, and trying to figure out how to sync up both my upper half and lower half is kind of a challenge. And it's a fun challenge because that's not always going to be there. But if I know that I can get my foot down early, it's kind of cool to have that in my back pocket. So understanding that and doing that the second half and having a little success with that was pretty cool to have, because obviously it's a huge learning curve of, I mean, you look at guys like Bryce Harper who has a different swing from 1 and 2 strikes to when it gets 2 strikes. And so it's pretty cool to kind of have that ability to adjust your swing and have different tools in your pocket.
And pretty unique situation you have. You're able to ask sister, dad, other sister Taylor, maybe free throws, but you're able to talk to them about that. It's a pretty interesting dynamic. Tell us about that.
Yeah, so I mean, obviously with over in Arizona, I trust all of our hitting guys, and so being able to ask Andy, who has seen my swing since I've been little, it's nice to know that I have her as another person to kind of bounce some things off of. So it's nice to kind of have my dad and my sister there of like, hey, this is what I'm trying to do. This is I like, because when they watch me on TV or they watch a video that I send them, it's like they have an idea of what my thought and mindset is. And so it's always nice to have that person that's not in the organization to bounce some things, because they've obviously seen my swing for a long time.
Pretty cool stuff there. All right. So trade. Tell us about that. Again, maybe just give us like a timeline of, you finish up in Arizona, you pack your bags, head home, and then you're alerted that you're headed to Toronto next year.
Yeah, so my GM, I was actually at Taylor's house. We were setting up for a Christmas party, and my GM called and he's like, "Hey, just want to let you know, like, we made a trade today. We're sending you to Toronto." And I was kind of in shock, because it's just like you always think that you're going to stay at that one place for a long, long time. And with those young guys, like I wanted to obviously win there and be around that group. But it's kind of a bittersweet feeling of, yeah, I'm leaving my friends and everybody that I've known for a long time, but I'm also going to a winning team who is taking me in as a family. And a lot of guys have reached out and said hi to me, introduced themselves, and they can't wait to play with me. So it's like it's just a different feeling of kind of going from obviously one family to another and already fitting in so well.
And then around Central Wisconsin, we're going to see a lot more Blue Jays jerseys around Central Wisconsin now.
Yeah, there'll be a
General manager of the Blue Jays, Ross Atkins, had this to say about you. He said you're well-rounded. You're going to have an impact on every side of the ball: base running, speed, versatility, elite defense. What do you have to say about your new general manager having that kind of confidence in you?
Yeah, he was really communicative to me right away of kind of what I was going to be doing, and what I meant for this trade and this team. And I thought it was pretty cool to know that obviously I'm wanted, and to be a part of something special, of trying to take this group to the next level and possibly push them into the next steps into the playoffs and possibly World Series. I just think it's a awesome experience to obviously be a part of this team, and knowing that I'm going to a team who's a really good winning team who has a great foundation.
And then lastly, maybe just catch us up on the timing. I know when I talked to you last, we were a little late getting the season started last year. So I talked to you one day, and you were in a car like an hour later, speed racing to Arizona. Maybe some more time now. How do you go about house shopping and getting things figured out in Toronto?
Yeah, so obviously me and my wife are obviously trying to pick that out right now of understanding where we're going to live, because obviously going from Arizona to Florida is a different bit with like spring training a little bit, from not staying in that same city from spring and going to a different city in Toronto. It'll be a lot of fun. I think it's a different challenge for us, but we're going to enjoy it.
Toronto Blue Jays, Daulton Varsho, thanks for visiting with us today.
Yep, thank you.